Welcome to the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks. We're Jim and Joe, lifelong friends, lifelong fans, bringing you fan-driven sports talk the way real fans do. No overpaid experts, no scripted analysis, just honest takes on the game's players and the big stories shaping sports right now.
Thank you, Joe. That's right. We want you to be a part of it too, folks. Drop your comments, questions, and takes. We'll read them all, bring them into future shows like we will today. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. Tell your friends. Join our conversation every week right here on YouTube, Spotify, and we're also on Instagram and TikTok or wherever you listen. Hey, man, what's going on? We got a Monday morning packed full of sports talk.
Monday morning, daylight savings time, at least here in Georgia. I know there's a couple states that don't go back and forth. I'm glad we do because it's my favorite time of year. Summer's my favorite season by far, but I love spring, not just because of the weather. That's a big reason, but also the sports. I love football. I love all that, but I just really love the spring and summer sports seasons. And we've got a lot going on as usual.
Almost like another, we've talked about it before. It's almost like another sports equinox.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
everything.
Seriously.
Racing, golf, baseball, World Baseball Classic, spring training, football. Football's getting big in the news. We're going to talk about all that.
Is the off season becoming bigger than the season in the NFL? I don't know. It's arguable that it's as interesting in some ways. That's for sure.
Joe, you know, sports never sleeps. There is no off season. Right there.
Yeah, it's like, I guess it's like rust, right? Rust never sleeps.
Neil Young, like it.
Yeah. Speaking of young, looking like spring eternal out there, little new buds coming out there and all that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Speaking of, where do we begin? We could begin anywhere, but I guess you were talking right before we came on that are we cursing people or what?
Racing. You better believe it. We've already done it in basketball with the Spurs, and now we've done it again with F1 and with stock car racing, NASCAR. Tyler Reddick lost. But my daughter and her husband and my grandsons were very happy who won that race in Phoenix, and that's Ryan Blaney. So shout out to Ryan Blaney and his team for the victory in Phoenix. Tyler Reddick is not unbeatable, like we talked about on the last show. And also, we were about ready to anoint King Alex Palou as the next greatest unbeatable driver, and he lost.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. And Spotify Joe also commented on our shows. He loves the motorsports talk. We got some big fans out there.
Yeah, well, thank you. Especially, anytime our viewers comment or suggest that we should cover more, we love that. So thanks for that. I will make one. It's not a correction because you're right. Reddick did not, he did lose, but he didn't really lose. He just didn't win because he still finished top 10. I mean, which, in NASCAR with 42 cars or whatever they start with, pretty dang good. So, and that was an interesting track. What was that track? Like a bathtub? I mean, literally, what was it, like 100 yards? I mean, seriously.
A short oval.
It's the short oval. And once somebody got, a 1 second lead, I really couldn't tell. I'm not an NASCAR expert. Shoot, I'm not an expert at anything really, as everyone knows.
It's in our intro.
But it's in our intro. It's in our tagline. It's in our corporate message. We're not experts, but I will say it was really difficult for me to see how someone could possibly catch up and pass anybody except for waiting on a yellow and a restart or something. You know what I mean? But anyways, Palou, I think he made a bad move. I don't think he's going to admit it, but I think he kind of cost himself and someone else the race there. But hey, listen, the guy still has like 20 wins in his last 100 starts. I think in almost any sport you would take that record.
He said he didn't see Hauger. I'm like, okay, you got a spotter, you got rear view mirrors, and you had to know that he was coming up on you and starting to get ready to pass you on the wall there. And he said, "Oh, I didn't know he was there." So I'm thinking, okay, didn't know he was there. Is that one of those little white lies? You saw him, but you didn't know he was there.
Yeah, I mean that's what you would say, right? I mean, obviously, if you came out and say, "Yeah, I saw him and I freaking hit him," I mean, that would be respectable, I guess. But you'd probably say, "That's not very smart." Hey, listen, I'm driving around 285 in Atlanta, and I can identify almost any car around me at any given time. Trust me, it's
Well, you
basically like
have to with the
Phoenix.
16 lanes on each side.
Exactly right, and people doing 90 and beeping their horn at you because you're only doing 78. But um, so we'll see if the jinx is real. I think I might have even jinxed the Tar Heels with Williams. He's coming back from a broken wrist the week he's supposed to come back. They're playing Duke on Saturday. He tears his thumb ligaments jamming a ball in practice, so he's out for the year. So Tar Heels' chances just went down the tubes, probably. I also want to make this is not an apology, but I do want to clarify something. On Friday, a Saturday show, I mentioned the PGA, and I suggested that maybe viewership is down on these regular events. Only the majors are attracting the big viewers. Only the true golf fans are going to Bay Hill or even knowing who's winning or playing in Bay Hill. And I might stand a little corrected because yesterday afternoon, I've got, golf on, I'm watching, and I'm, watching the last, 5-6 holes. I've got my Diet Coke in my hand, and I was glued, man. The final round, the final 5 or 6 holes between Berger and Batia were great. Poor Berger. People may not know this, but Berger was like a phenom. Hit the ground running in the PGA. Had some back issues. Had to basically take 2 years off. Just came back, and now he's already in contention and already playing great this year. He was wire to wire in the lead every single hole from the moment he teed off all the way, 4 rounds, 71 holes. He had the lead until hole 72, the very last hole. Gave up the lead and had to go into a playoff, and Batia won on the playoff hole. But it was really, I was glued. So little bit of an apology to myself. I don't want to be a hypocrite because I thought it was great. I thought there was a good leaderboard. Ricky Fowler and people like that were in the mix. So good golf tournament.
Yep. And congratulations to Badia.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, he's good. He's a kind of a a good guy to root for if you're like just kind of a regular golfer. Not that he's not fantastic and a professional golfer, but he's kind of skinny, lanky, lefty. Just rips it out there and hits. But kind of really nice guy too, which it's not hard to root for him. So, so put that aside. Now, what else is going on? I think there's so much going on in the NFL. We could probably have 2 shows literally dedicated to just that. But we'll do our best to kind of recap it in the time we have, at least hit the major points. But there is a lot going on in the NFL, and a lot that has happened. What are you seeing out there that catches your attention?
Being lifelong friends from Miami. And by the way, I love your new background now. You got the Orange Bowl back up.
Thank you.
The Popeye Hurricane. He looks just like Popeye. I love that.
Yes.
Oakland A's, national championships for Miami. But obviously, the huge news is the Dolphins have released Tua Tagovailoa. My wife looked up his official Wikipedia name. Have you ever seen Tua's official first name?
It's pretty long, if I remember. It's kind of like the way the Greeks shorten their last names.
Well, I challenge anyone to be able to say that properly. Forget it. Now we know why he goes just by Tua. But, everything was great when he first got drafted. These are just coming from the heart. Being a huge Dolphins fan, you just really hope that, oh my gosh, tank for Tua all the way through that. And it's all gone now. But you know what? It's all because of the injuries. I knew he had a bad injury at Alabama. Would he dislocate his hip? And then the concussions. I just feel bad, Thank you, Tua, for all the great moments. Hanging 70 on the Broncos a few years ago at Hard Rock was just an amazing offensive performance by him and the team. But man, now they're looking at $99 million that it's going to cost the Dolphins. Is that $45 million a year? Is it more 60 30 or something like that?
It's like 60. Yeah, it's like 61, this year. And then like 30, the remainder next year. Congratulations. You broke up your 99 basically into, 65, 35, if you will. 2 years after signing this, listen, this stupid deal. No offense to the player. Hey, your job as a player and an agent, just like your job as a lawyer, sometimes if you're a public defender, you got to defend a murderer. I'm sure that's not fun, but, our Constitution, says you have to have legal representation. And whoever that person is, I feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for Tua's agent, but I feel sorry for the Dolphin fans when the Dolphins inked this deal. Tua he had a couple good years. He had a great year. And I don't know if that warranted that contract. It was ridiculous. And these long-term deals are stupid because in the NFL especially, you don't know what's going to happen. You could be out of football in one play. Oh, well, that's Captain Obvious. Well, it happens all the time. And Tua was already a proven cranial fragile person before they even signed this deal. It has set this franchise back unrecoverable for years.
Now they're going to have to take the cheap route to sign free agents. Good luck with that. But
no, you can get Kyler Murray for the league minimum. But no, the Dolphins, instead of doing that, they'll give him a 21-year, $700 million contract. Because he played great in 2021.
Chris Greer is gone, and that won't happen anymore.
Well, let me tell you, man, it's pathetic. I like Tua. Yeah, and you could put up 70, but Tua, listen, he had his limitations. Without speedy receivers like Hill and people like that, he had limitations. His arm strength was questionable. His mobility is questionable. Great guy. Love him, whether you're a Christian or not. The guy's a Christian man, probably a good team leader, although, as we all know, a couple of years ago, that was questionable. Threw his teammates under the bus during a press conference. I'm just saying, it was time for him to go. And you made the dumbest deal, I think. Let's put it this way. They set the NFL record for a cap hit. That's not easy to do. So we'll see. Dolphins are in trouble, man. We were talking about this. There's rebuilding. There's the Cleveland Browns. There's the Raiders. We can talk about the Max Crosby trade and all that. We can talk about, teams rebuild. It happens in the NFL. So the Raiders are in rebuilding mode, for example. They're going to get another first-round pick. That's great. They're going to, their expectations are probably, hey, let's try to get back to 500 and be competitive in the 8 losses. Playoffs, probably not realistic, but you never know. 9 wins, 10 wins might do it. Wild card. What's below that? Rebuilding, and then there's the Dolphins. You're not even rebuilding for a couple of years. So it's whew.
Chubb is gone. Bradley Chubb is gone. Tyreek Hill's gone. So it's going to be Green Bay South. A lot of people are thinking because of John Eric Sullivan and Hafley at head coach.
Wait. You didn't even mention Fitzpatrick.
And Minkah
Fitzpatrick is also gone to a divisional rival, by the way. And here's how you get rid of Fitzpatrick. Here's how the Jets respond. The Jets say, we'll take him and give him a $40 million pay raise. Not we'll take his contract. We'll take the contract and give him $40 million more. That's how good he is. Wow.
But to further our point, that stems from the fact that the Dolphins couldn't do that.
You're 100% right.
Thanks, Chris Greer.
That's right.
I don't know how
Yeah.
many times I'm going to be saying that this year when the Dolphins go down, you know, the 17 game season. I don't know if they'll even win 5. So thanks,
I don't
Chris
know.
Greer. Thanks, Drew Rosenhaus.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's just, wow. It's just a head scratcher, man, to be.
And I almost forgot one more transaction over the weekend for the Dolphins. And I really hated to see this guy go because he's a great fullback, doesn't run for a lot of yards, but he blocks. He knows the offense. Alec Ingold, also a team leader, community presence, man of the year, I believe, from the Dolphins organization for all the things he does around the community. Well, guess who signed him? The Chargers. Mike
Okay.
McDaniel, offensive coordinator, must have called Harbaugh and said, let's go get him.
Yeah.
And they sure did. He knows the offense, and boom, you watch Ingold, fit right in there. And they signed him, I believe it's for $11 million over 2 years.
Yeah. He's
Why?
good. Yeah.
Because the Dolphins can't.
I know.
They
Oh,
have no money.
by the way, you know what, just to really even more emphasize this point, the Dolphins traded Fitzpatrick for a
Oh,
7th round pick,
you got to be kidding me.
Pro Bowler, 7th round pick. That's what you got for Fitzpatrick. But you know what else you got? You got his contract off of your books, which is just disgusting. I mean, talk about a mismanagement of one player
And they
sets you back.
drafted.
One
And they
player sets you back this far because of the dumbest deal ever. I mean,
He's a
no offense.
stud.
It wasn't Josh Allen. I mean, that's my point. It's not Josh Allen. It's not Patrick Mahomes. This is Tua. No offense. Pro Bowler, good games, bad games, good seasons, not great seasons. One great season. Okay, I'll give him that. Seasons cut short, missing games left and right because of concussions. Anyways,
And how
hey,
many
Joe, tell us
times?
how you feel.
Yeah, and how many times I'll say it right now. My wife, me, friends, you. He should have retired 2 years ago.
100%. 100%.
But no,
Well,
ego.
let's move on because I'm getting,
Yeah,
even more disgusted. Obviously, there were a
yeah.
couple other huge trades. The Max Crosby. What do you say? I love Max. Mad Max in his, departing press conference, apologizes to Raider Nation, saying, I'm sorry, I didn't bring, any rings or even, whatever better results to the franchise. I did my best. No one can argue that. That's for sure. And by the way, don't forget, he got sat last 2 games of the season last year, and he really wanted to play. Now, he claims he was healthy. Team says no. Why did you have surgery right after the season then? But there's whatever that controversy is. But, what a great Raider. He'll always be a Raider in my mind. But congratulations to the Ravens. This probably puts the Ravens, they went from a, pretty good offense to a not a great defense. And now, because of not just his moves, but a couple of other moves, their defense now is elevated to championship level.
Yeah, Max is the real deal. Mad Max Crosby in Baltimore. Wow.
Yep, I know.
But who did what did the Raiders get?
They got another first round pick. And let me tell you, they are rebuilding, but they're going to get number 1. And I think it's number 8. I've seen it was number 20, but I think that was a trade. So anyways, they're going to have 2 first rounders. Now, we'll see what they do. And I'm no GM expert, but when you got 2 first round picks like that, you got number 1. Okay, we're going to go get our franchise quarterback we've been trying to get for 10 years or longer. But that next number 1, that's a nice chip on the table. When you're trying to rebuild, you can trade with somebody who has maybe a late first round pick, early second round pick up their pick plus another one, and maybe have like 2 or 3 second round picks kind of thing, where that's where you can get some good offensive linemen. That's where you can get some depth. That's where you can get a good linebacker or something like that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We need a wide receiver. The Raiders need a wide receiver bad too. But anyways, It's a big deal. It's a big trade.
I wouldn't be surprised. A wide receiver, yes, but because they're going to take Fernando Mendoza with the number one, okay, there's your QB. The Raiders' offensive line, we've talked about this on other shows. How good are they? I think I've heard you say it on a previous show. They stink.
Yeah. No,
So
they
you
do.
use the number 8 to take either number one offensive tackle, left tackle, get somebody on his blind side, or a right tackle, go offensive line. Then you've got the number one, the best quarterback out of the draft, arguably, and get a top-notch offensive lineman.
Yeah. Yeah, they need.
That's it.
It's really hard in the NFL, unlike the new college where I can just go out, transfer portal, and fill in a lot of holes. Not every
Yeah.
position's available in the portal, like a really good defensive tackle, but most you can get some pretty good stuff. In the NFL, man, it's a slow burn. You only get, 3 or 4, you only get 8 picks, 7 picks. Of those, it's proven 50% don't even pan out. Sometimes that's your number one pick. Hello, Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
So, it's hit and miss. So you got to go the free agent route. It's hard to rebuild. That's why these picks are so valuable. When you can have 9 or 10 picks in the draft versus, 7, it makes a big difference.
And you mentioned earlier, but just before we got on today, something about the words franchise tag.
Higgins has to be so pissed off. I think it was a great move by the NFL to create this, because what would happen? Teams would have, great player, 3-year deal, one of your better players, 3-year deal, and then at year 3, they're open, they're free agents, they're open to talk to anybody else, and there are teams out there that are crazy enough, to give somebody, I'm using round numbers, $50 million, coming off of a $15 million a year contract, and the team that has that player can't keep them. Well, the NFL says, you know what? And this is where I love the NFL, man. It's a level playing field, just like Tua. If this was the NBA, if this was baseball, you could overcome the Tua problem. You know what? You'll restructure deals. You'll go over the cap. You'll pay a tax, whatever. Well, we made a mistake. Not in the NFL, baby. It is so finely managed for every team to have no advantage, that the cap is a real deal. And just like losing a great player to some team that's willing to spend, half their roster money, the NFL says, no, you can pick one player, and you can pick that player and say, sorry, you're franchised. You can't talk to other teams. And T. Higgins, for 2 years in a row, has been that player. He's pissed because it's costed him money. But, we'll see. I think it's interesting, that's for sure, because I'm sure a lot of those players are sitting around going, who are they going to franchise? Not me. Hey, franchise Bobby. Franchise Mike. Hey, T. Like, oh, my God. Damn it.
And off the cuff real quick, but then back to NFL, college football should do it.
Oh, dude, listen. Yeah. That's like number 19 on the list of 40 things they got to do. Yeah. But yeah. No, they should. Oh, well, just prevent transfers. You get to transfer one time. Once. Okay, you made a mistake. Your coach left. You had a bad year. One time. Travis Kelce's coming back, we'll see what else. Kyler Murray's on the move. We'll see who wants him. God, Raiders are being rumored. Why would you do that? I don't know. Kyler Murray's another one. Terrible.
I didn't know Travis Kelce had already made such a swift decision.
Yeah. Well, he signaled he's returning. So there you go.
The other trade, DJ Moore. Do you think he's happy that he's leaving Chicago?
Yes, but only because he's going to Buffalo. So if he was going to, I don't know, I don't want to pick on any team, but if he was going to, another team, he might not be as happy. But hey, I'm sure he loves what's going on in Chicago, but I'm sure he also loves what he's going to be number one receiver there too, as well. And he'll be formidable, man.
I was hoping the Dolphins would get him, but they can't. So anyway, and speaking of Buffalo, if you guys have not had a chance to watch the highlights or just the quick reels of last night's Buffalo Sabres win over the Lightning, it was an 8-7 game, over 120 penalty minutes, 15 goals. And I read some comments quickly over it. It was amazing. A lot of Buffalo Sabres fans who have been suffering greatly for about 20 years now, I don't think they've even made the playoffs in 20 years, said that it was the greatest regular season hockey game they've ever seen. Even Canadians fans and other fans, even a Tampa Bay Lightning fans said, hey, hats off to you guys. We thought we had you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Eight
not
to
not exactly
seven.
a not exactly a, a goaltending clinic, but you know what? When you have that many power plays and stuff, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get, that high flying offense because you got so many, one man disadvantages and all that. It was, yeah, that's I like low scoring I like hockey kind of like baseball. Love the
Yeah.
1-0 baseball games. I love the 8-9 baseball games. Same thing with hockey. I
Yeah.
love the 0-0 games with 2 minutes left in the third period and watch the intensity. But I also love those 8-7 games once in a while are great to watch too.
Me too. It's you let you got your Diet Coke in your hand
Yeah,
and you let the game come to you.
right.
Whatever, que sera, sera.
Yeah, love
So,
it. We're going to keep
yeah,
our eye on hockey too because that's getting towards
yeah.
the end of the year.
The
But let's
Sabres are
let's
in
move to
first place.
WBC. We got to talk WBC because
Yeah,
we're getting low on time here, and we got to talk about tonight's game
yeah.
and the implications of tonight's game.
Gotcha.
USA versus Mexico.
Yeah. And this is big because they're 2-0 in their pool play, their league. And that's I pretty much have to say it now. It's a must win for the USA tonight.
Well, they're 2-0. So is Mexico. So is Italy.
Right.
You've only got the top two teams go. One of those teams is not going, and one loss may be the reason why. So it is a huge game tonight, not only for you know, the results of it, but Mexico and USA have quite a little, quite a little battle going on with their proximity and stuff in particular. So it's kind of great.
I'm gonna count Team Italy out because the players have a espresso bar in their dugout. Come on. Are you
I saw
kidding
that.
me? If you
Yeah.
haven't had a chance to see that, folks, Google Team Italy espresso bar in their dugout. You know what? Nick Castellanos is probably going, no, man. You guys need to bring beer in the dugout.
Yeah, I
Come
know.
on.
He's like
What's wrong?
coffee, man.
What's
Come
what's
on.
wrong with you?
I know. Well, to be honest with you, though, Italy's 2-0. I'm not saying that that's the reason, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it right now. That's for sure.
That's true. And you were mentioning something. There's a pitch count limit for pitchers. Do you think that's going to be a big factor if a starter's cruising and he's getting through 6 or 7 innings?
It it it,
Yeah.
it is well, no, it is a big factor, and
Yeah.
I did not realize this. I heard something about a pitch count. I literally thought they were talking about a clock, but and shame on me for not being an expert, but I did
Yeah.
not know that in pool play, which is what they're in right now, you have a 65 pitch max. That is why so many teams, their whole WBC teams have 30 players. They typically have 14 pitchers. For example, major leagues, they've got 26 players during the season. 30 players, you have extra pitchers, and in large part because of this pitch count. And it doesn't go away, by the way, after pool play. After pool play, you got, 65 pitch count now. Well, after pool play, you still have a pitch count. It goes up. And then even in the finals or semifinals, you have a pitch count. So it's 95. Well, it goes from 65, 80 pitches in the quarters, and then 95 pitches in the semis and the final. By the way, little caveat, if you hit that limit, pitch 65, but you're like a 2-2 count to that batter, you are allowed to finish that hitter. So it's not like you got to pull a guy right mid count. But that's a crazy rule. I didn't really know that. And you know why they do it? To help protect pitchers. Because a lot of them are still in spring training in the major leagues. So it's a really good rule to have in place for this, I think.
Well, there's two sides to that. Absolutely. And I bet you that is the main factor.
Yeah.
Is because it's spring training right now. We'd still be March 9th, the second time. Oh, let's go to a spring training game. Oh, good. Look, the pitcher I like is pitching. he goes out there and he pitches 3 or not even 3 at this point of the spring. He might just pitch 1 inning or 2 innings. So, yeah, you've convinced me. I like the rule.
Well, there's also other rules to protect them, and this is where management comes in, because you have to kind of consider this. But if you throw 50 pitches or more, you have to have 4 days rest. 30 to 49 pitches, 1 day rest. Less than 30 pitches, no rest. But you also can't pitch on 3 consecutive days. So, I mean, whoa. If you're a WBC manager, you're like, well, you got to have like a freaking spreadsheet and AI managing your pitching staff. But listen, in closing on this, listen, if you're out there, you like baseball or you like the USA, and when I say or, I hope that one's not like a question. Tonight's Mexico-USA game that's must-see TV. After that, we'll see where it all lays out, and we'll see on our next show, where everybody's going. I like USA's chances. Japan's already clinched. You got a couple of other pools that are, really close. Pool A, Cuba and Puerto Rico are 2-0, but Canada's 1-1. Just keep your eye on that. Pool C, Japan, they're already in 3-0. It's crazy. They haven't lost a game. They haven't lost a game in the WBC since like 2017. Let that one sink in.
And I can't wait. Colombia is 0-3, which is like a shocker to me. But anyway. The other thing I was just thinking about is you just made me think, what an idea this may be for the WBC. Take away that spring training factor. Do like the hockey NHL does for Olympic hockey. Have it around the Midsummer Classic time.
Yeah. Take a week off.
Shorten it, then get all the best players. They're ready to go. If a pitcher can go the distance and he wins, if a country loses a game, have it like a sudden death tournament. Yep. One and done.
Well, I think if that were the case, I mean, you could shorten the WBC for sure. It's only every, 2-3 years. I don't know. I could go either way. Like you said, I could go either way on it, because if the USA didn't have to limit, our pitchers to 65 pitches, I mean, we might even be more dominant. But hey, listen, everybody's got the same rules. I could go either way on it, quite frankly. It's been fun to watch.
Or if it's in the right climate, do it after the season.
Yeah. So, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, no, it's good. More to talk about. By the way, in closing, we're going to have. I say in closing, but before we go, I want to let you know we're going to have everyone out there. We're going to have a special episode tomorrow, focusing solely on basketball. Obviously, college basketball primarily. We're going to, for the first time. We're on episode 39. This will be our first time we have a guest join us, our resident basketball expert. No, they are not getting paid because, that's the way we run around here. So join us for that. I'm looking forward to that. Teddy will be joining us to talk all things basketball. So I'm really looking forward to that show.
But until then, 39. Episode 39, Larry Zonka. Shout out, baby.
Episode 39. Boy, it's going quick, isn't it? Well, That's it for this episode of the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks with Jim and Joe. Thanks for checking us out and hanging with us for some real fan-driven sports talk.
Please don't forget, once again, your comments are a big part of our show. Drop them below. We'll bring them up in future episodes. Catch us for free. Like, subscribe right here, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. You have a great day, folks. Have a great day, Joe.
All right, Jim. Hey, USA. Go USA tonight against Mexico. And we will talk tomorrow. Take care.
USA.